What you're seeing right now are discussions, and we've managed to get inside the crowd. Remember, the last time we spoke, I was behind, I was at the back, but I've managed to maneuver and find myself in front of where the address is happening and in front of the individual that has been delivering the address. But what you see here is the police brigadier right in front of the camera, and you will see Soweto Parliament Mbalenhle Mthethwa, as well as the person who has been addressing the crowd, which seems like center management really, and they are really just having these discussions, and we are going to try and start asking questions while this is happening and while these discussions are being had. Now, you know, they have to do this deliberation in order to please the people here. What we've just heard right now is that the people behind, and these are the e-hailing service providers, saying that they want to be able to work, and how are they going to be able to work? And that is exactly what they are saying, and they are trying to then deliberate on that question that has just come out, that has just been really brought up by the crowd and the people who have gathered here. I'm going to try and see if I can force myself in and just try and get a question there. But as you can see, there are more conversations being had, but you know, the report back could start any moment from now, because while they're deliberating, they then turn around and then announce to the people what has been discussed. There is a loudspeaker here, and the gentleman here in the white t-shirt is holding that white loudspeaker and has been speaking through it in order to then be able to address the crowd. Now, Mbalenhle Mthethwa has a long-standing relationship with Soweto Mall. There we go. It's again
an amicable solution, and ngizoyi explain ukuthi ngasithathele inqumo. I-taxi rank njobe laphayana ine contract angithi, so ngeke sisebenze kanjena, but ngoba nathi sifuna ukusebenza ngithi and angeke kusithi bona basebenze thina sime. Now we are allowed ukuthi sisebenze under protection amaphoyisa in the yard now. Mamela qala before, it's not a final decision. Into sizama ukuyivimba, guys, into sivimbayo is to find a solution esisebenzelayo without ukuthi kungabi bangasebenzi.
Now, briefly, what he's saying in isiZulu is that the taxi industry has a contract with the mall because of that, and that means that because they have a taxi rank inside the shopping center, it means that they have a contract, but they are trying to still find a solution, because the e-hailing taxi drivers are demanding an answer right now to find out what it is. But while we're waiting, we understand that there's been a long-standing relationship between yourselves and with the shopping mall. No, I understand. You will certainly. We just want to. Okay. In the meantime, can we talk to Nhlanhla in the meantime, or should we? Okay. So you've had a long-standing relationship with Soweto, as well as this mall, and the reason it's still standing. But please stay here. We're going to try and listen to the brigadier.
What we've decided is the meeting will take place. We're going to have a meeting now with all the role players. In that meeting, decisions will be made. Those decisions will be communicated to you. After that meeting, we will meet with you and we'll tell you exactly. The people that you nominated will be with us. And then after that, we'll decide what is the way forward. For us to stand and agree now on behalf of them and on behalf of you, it's not working. So I'm appealing nicely, ne?
There you have it. That is the appeal, and it seems as though
everybody works. We can't tell you or them to leave. We say allow us to have the meeting and to come with resolutions and give you feedback, and then you can engage with us after that. So the meeting is scheduled for 1 o'clock today.
No, you work until 1 o'clock.
Guys,
you must also work.
We said all of you can continue to work until 1 o'clock the meeting is finished.
So right now we're hearing that there's going to be a meeting. There's going to be a meeting. Now we understand that you've had a long-standing relationship, protecting it throughout the July unrest. How do you feel about the incident that took place yesterday, where a car was torched?
Yeah, it's disgusting. It's not only one car. As a matter of fact, one of the cars that were torched did not have anything to do with Uber. Absolutely nothing to do with Uber. All right. So for me, I'm saying that the community is the biggest loser. The community becomes the biggest loser when such things happen, as you can see. Because yesterday, the person that was shot. Yes.
What is that about?
So it's about their own personal industry things that have nothing to do with anyone else. So the biggest problem here is that one of the cars that were burnt yesterday belonged to an ordinary person from Soweto who has nothing to do with Uber or the taxi association. So we are saying that we cannot allow that the ordinary people become victims of a situation they don't even understand. The one person that was shot yesterday, luckily we had no one died from the shootings, but the one person that was shot happens to be someone who has nothing to do with Uber or the taxi association. So we need to be mindful here.
And what role are you going to be playing in those meetings that are going to be had today in terms of trying to find a solution, given the fact that you have been at the center of trying to ensure that there's safety in the area here?
Yeah, look, I've been asked to chair that big meeting with all stakeholders, all the malls in Soweto, government departments, basically every stakeholder that matters, from national to here on the ground, because we are the most neutral stakeholder in this particular subject matter. So we'll be chairing it and making sure that we do find an amicable solution between the e-hailing services and the taxis.
And not to preempt what might come out of these meetings, but what would you like to see happening going forward? Because we've just heard that there is a contract by taxi service providers and so on. What would you like to see happening?
Look, I'd like to see law and order happening. Right now, there are some people that we sympathize with, but let me tell you something. As much as I will sympathize with you, if you start doing the wrong thing, you've lost all my sympathy. I'm going to deal with you. So I'm saying to all our guys, we are together. I was here from the first gunshot until I was one of the last people to leave. So it shows that we're in solidarity with everybody else who's going through this pain. But one thing we must do, we must find solutions that will make sense for tomorrow moving forward. We can't continue, we're not small boys here. This is not high school. We can't say, just for the sake of today. We must have sustainable solutions and speak so that we don't have more people being shot, more people dying, more cars being burnt. We can't have that. We must all exercise intelligence and make sure that we help the police to bring to record those who did what they did yesterday, and we make sure that our people can continue working. South Africa is a free market business.
And speaking of people being brought to book, has there a case that's been opened so far?
Yeah, so there's individual cases. Like I said, some of the people, one car that got burnt yesterday, nothing to do with Uber. So that particular individual has already opened the case. But because the case has a group that comes with it, it's not an easy case, not an individual's case. So yes, certainly there are cases that have been opened. We'll confirm when you go to the police station as to how many cases are open at this point. But one thing I can tell you is what's important, our brothers, our sisters must go back to work. No one is going to bully anyone else here in Soweto. Maybe somewhere else people can get bullied. Here, the market is for everyone. We are going to share this market and we are going to find an amicable solution so that everyone can go on.
Thank you, certainly. Please introduce yourself. We know we saw you addressing the crowd just now. And please introduce yourself for the benefit of our viewers and your position and your role in this.
My name is Tato Ramaila. I'm chairperson of Soweto United e-hailing service.
Okay. And now talk to us about that decision that you have just announced over here, that people will continue working while you go into that meeting until 1:01 this afternoon to try and find a solution. And also just what is the impact of the taxi industry having a contract in order to have their very own taxi rank inside the mall? How does that impact on everything else?
It doesn't really impact us on anything for them to have a taxi rank, because we do not rely on a certain basically area for us to operate. We operate actually nationally at any given point or space. As long as you have network, you can request an Uber or a Bolt and you'll find it. But the main thing is that we need to find an amicable way of working and not insinuating that the taxis or whoever has done this, but find facts within the structures that what happened yesterday. So right now, that's what we were looking at.
And it seems as though there's a lot of unhappiness, and we saw what looks like a fight almost ensuing between yourself and one of the e-hailing drivers. Talk to us about what that was about.
Unfortunately, when you have a crowd of people to address, you always find different ways of dealing with it.
But what is the source of the unhappiness?
The frustration that is happening on the ground because of, remember, with Uber and Bolt not taking care of drivers, blocking them on the platforms, leaving them on a desperate situation, it turns people to become desperate with trying to work and facilitate whatever they can do. So they're using this platform to actually voice out. It's unfortunate that we need to find an amicable way to control it and find a way how we can coexist together structures.
There you have it. This is the situation here in Soweto. It got somewhat a little bit tense after that announcement was made, but we do understand that a solution will be made, or they will come up with a long-term solution after going into that meeting that is expected to start right now. As you've seen, the police have left and some of the stakeholders are leaving now to go and be a part of that particular meeting. It's back to you in studio.